Hi, and welcome to Ripples. That's the title of a new book by former minister Norman Stolpe. This is one of a series of videos about that book and its collection of heartwarming and inspiring and thought provoking stories. It'll have you thinking about the ripples you encounter in your own life, the ripples you send, the ripples you receive. I'm BJ Austin. I'm a former reporter at the public radio in North Texas, and with me is Norm Stolpe, my former pastor here at Central Christian Church in Dallas. Welcome to a rainy, stormy day.
Yes, indeed, and very good to be with you, BJ. Thank you for taking this time, and good to just chat again.
Thank you. You know, in this series of YouTube videos, we want to kind of delve into the stories behind the stories of ripples and just find out, I guess, the ripples that those stories make. One a story that I read just gave me goosebumps and a lump in my throat, and that's the story, Only You Spoke to Me. It's the story of one of your very first assignments as a brand new pastor at a church, and it was an assignment that you didn't think would pan out, would come to any benefit. Tell me about that.
Well, yes, it was actually the second church I served, but both as an associate pastor. And the first one was a young congregation. The only hospital visits I did were new babies. But the newly arrived, after just 1 week in this new congregation, the senior pastor was off on vacation, and one of the members had had a heart attack, was in a coma in ICU, and the pastor said, "Would you please go by there every day or two and just see him? Maybe you'll run into his family." Well, he was indeed in a coma there, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I went faithfully and visited him and spoke to him.
What did you tell him? What did you say?
Well, not knowing at all what to say, I always told him what day it was, a little bit about the weather, which would have made sense today, and would read him a psalm and say a brief prayer. And I kind of thought about the nurses at the nurses station there watching this, young pastor going in there talking to somebody who obviously is not responding to anything, and thinking, boy, what a dummy he is.
Well, how long did you do this?
Uh, for 6 weeks, and I was there probably pretty much every other day for 6 weeks, and never noticed any change or any response in Frank.
Well, was there anybody else in the room? Was it just you two?
It was. I had always hopes that I would cross paths with his wife or one of his children, but they never seemed to be there when I was there.
So you made these visits every other day for 6 weeks, talking to a man who showed no reaction. What were you thinking and feeling every time you left?
Kind of feeling like I had wasted my time, but I was doing what I was assigned to do, so I was going to do it.
Well, when I read the story, however, it seemed to me that you were bringing a kind of dignity to Frank's dire situation. Did that occur to you?
Well, only after the fact. At the time, I just thought I was going through the motions, doing what I was supposed to do. But, as things worked out, then I learned a lesson and about, yes, treating everybody with dignity.
Well, Frank really surprised you. Tell me about the day you went to his hospital room and he was not there.
Well, yes, he was not in his bed, and so I went to the nurse's station and I asked if he had died. And they said, "Oh, no, he came to this morning and he's down in the step-down unit."
So you went to see him, and something that's so profound and startling happened. And I'd like you to read about that encounter from your book.
Okay. We looked at each other, that is, Frank and I, as I walked into his room. And nervously I said, "Frank, you don't know me, but I am the new associate pastor." And he interrupted me before I could even get pastor out. "I know who you are," he said. I recognize your voice. You were the only one who spoke to me, and I could hear my doctors and my family talking about me, talking about my possibly dying, but none of them ever spoke to me directly, even my wife. No one except you.
Wow. What were you thinking at that moment?
I guess I was thinking that I just got the biggest lesson in pastoral care that I could ever get, much, in those 2 minutes, more than I would have gotten or from any of the classes that I took.
Well, and we can assume that the ripples were certainly evident because there was his family all around too, and countless ripples on countless levels.
Right. Well, and I really learned from that to be telling other people over the years when they had a loved one who was non-responsive to keep talking to them and to remember that they are in the room. Don't go over in the corner and talk like they're not there, but speak to them. It really will mean something to them, and happened when my own father died.
Wow. Thank you, Norm. You can buy a copy of Norm Stolpe's book, Ripples, by going to normstolpe.com. That's Norm, STOLPE.com. And be sure to check out our other YouTube videos on the new book, Ripples.